Hi guys, Rhoda here. Welcome to my channel where I review African literature, and happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day so far, and I hope you're socializing. Social distancing. We're not socializing as yet, but I hope you guys are social distancing. I hope you're wearing your mask, washing your hands, sanitizing, and as promised, at the end of every month, or at the beginning of every month rather, because today is already in March, I will be reviewing a book from a different African country in alphabetical order. So last month we did Algeria, which is A, and I did talk about a few facts about Algeria, and today I'm going to be talking about Botswana. And Botswana is in southern Africa, right next door to Zimbabwe, where I come from. And in Botswana, it has the richest diamond mine in the world. It has one of the shortest borders, which is about 150 meters. That's the border between Botswana and Zambia. It has over 150 species of mammals, and Botswana is also known for having the largest population of elephants. And for this month, the book I'm going to be reviewing is A Question of Power by Bessie Head, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy and know more about one of Botswana's prominent writers. A Question of Power by Bessie Head is more of fiction / bio, because it kind of mirrors her life, and it talks about Elizabeth, who at the beginning you kind of see, like, she's the narrator of the story. At the beginning you kind of see she's struggling with love between two men. There are two men in her lives, and she's kind of struggling to see who she prefers more. And in the book talks a lot about mental health, which is something that Bessie Head was very passionate about, she really talked about, and also having to be in a world where she was mixed race or colored. I know it's politically incorrect to say colored on this side of the world, but I know back home we used to say colored. So she's mixed race, or she's half caste. I'm pretty sure that's also wrong in another part of the world, but I'm just saying this so that you guys get to understand, like, the struggle which she faced. So in the book, I'll read the synopsis of the book, which actually mirrors her own life. So here it goes. Bessie Head's vision of the separation of the mentally sick and her ability to give mind suffering a kind of picture language convey a positively medieval horror. She brilliantly develops ascending degrees of personal isolation and is very moving when she describes abating pain. Her novels, this is the third, have a way of soaring up from rock bottom to the stars and are very shaking. So Bessie Head, she passed away before she rose to prominence. So she passed away at around 46 years old, and back then people were not really talking about her work, and now it's coming up and people are getting to know more about her work. So her book, A Question of Power, like I said before, it has to do with mental health struggles, which is something we don't really talk about as Africans. I think as Africans, we're quick to think if someone is having mental health problems, it's witchcraft. You know, we never talk about maybe they're schizophrenic or maybe they're bipolar. It's usually the first thing that comes to our mind is witchcraft. And this book kind of opened discussion to that kind of thing, because her mother, she was put into a mental health institution. Her mother was white, and she was put into a mental health institution, and also Elizabeth in the story was also put in a mental health institution. So it kind of seems like it's history repeating itself, and I think these are things that we don't really talk about. So I'll read the synopsis of the book, and I hope you guys will get a feel of the book for those who want to read about it and kind of know more about it. Before I read the synopsis, I just wanted to say I kind of struggled to read this book because it's a very serious piece of work, and I know there are people who actually like this kind of writing, the style of writing, because you kind of have to go back and forth, and if you're not paying attention, it kind of has that Toni Morrison vibe. I struggled with Toni Morrison at first, but once I got into the motion of reading the book, I completely loved it. So I think with this one I kind of had that same, you know, same emotion when I was reading it. It was a bit hard, but as I got to know more about it and understood this storyline, then I was like, okay, I get it. So the synopsis is, it starts with more of like a sentence, which I think has great impact. It kind of gives me Dambuzo Marechera's, like when he studied House of Stone, you know, that instant impact where they just shock you into the story. And it goes, your mother was insane. If you're not careful, you'll get insane just like your mother. Your mother was a white woman. They had to lock her up as she was having a child by this table boy who was a native. It is never clear to Elizabeth whether the mission school principal's cruel revelation of her origin is at the bottom of a mental breakdown. She has left South Africa with her son and is living in the village of Motabang, the place of sand in Botswana, where there is no street lights at night. In the darkness of this country, where people turn and look at her with vague curiosity as an outsider, she establishes an entirely abnormal relationship with two men, a mind-bending book which takes the reader in and out of sanity. So if you like and if you enjoy something that makes you think, highly recommend this book. And also it also talks about the struggles of people who are mixed race. So if you're someone who's been struggling with that, I can't really talk about it, but obviously because I'm dark skinned, you know, but if I know that people actually struggle with that, and you know, if you're going through a phase where you're struggling with that, where you don't really know if you're black or white, I've come across people who really struggle with that. I think you could learn a lot from this, given that it's also African literature. I know there are a lot of people in Africa and African countries, and Zimbabwe actually. I know there's an area called Arcadia where there were so many people, mixed race people, that was like where they lived, or the area, so to say. So I think if you're someone who likes a serious read and are passionate about mental health, so because this is like you getting into the mind of Elizabeth, who is the protagonist in this story, I think you can actually learn quite a lot. So that's it for today for B is for Botswana. And you guys, if you know of any writers from Botswana, I would love to know more about them, because this is going to be an ongoing series. I know I can never read every book from Africa, but I'm just trying to read as many as I can. And if you know of any writers from Botswana, please by all means leave the book in the comments section. And until next time, goodbye you guys, and thank you so much for taking time to watch my video.